Good morning everyone, I am running late and also going for a cycle, which will be fun, and into Cambridge to see Leif, to talk about vlogging and my existential crisis with what kind of content to produce, but I'm going to get a move on, so yeah. Good morning, Leif. I found you. Been a hell of a rush so far this morning. Probably forgotten something major, but what's in there then?
Well, I've got a photo shoot later.
We're gonna go find somewhere
Quieter, and we're gonna talk about vlogging.
Yes.
Tandem vlogging.
Can you see where you're going?
Yeah, fine now.
That's a gorgeous street.
That's cool, huh?
Yeah. I'm not feeling this bicycle car park thing. I think I'm gonna fold mine down and take it up with me. One of my sort of main goals for today is, apart from shooting a vlog, is also just to do some decent amount of cycling because I loved my Bamboo GTX. So swapping that for a bike was painful. So I need to be enjoying the bike.
Yeah.
Otherwise I'll be regretting saying goodbye to the electric skateboard.
I would have a hard time saying bye to an electric skateboard, I think. Yeah, they're too fun.
And we made it. Cambridge is such a fantastic place to go cycling. So what are they filming here?
Grantchester.
Oh.
It's about like a vicar, and they use this church all the time.
Are they putting those lights on the outside for the benefit of people shooting on the inside?
Yeah, so you think our kit bag's bad. Gotta have a kit truck, kit moving vehicle. Yeah, a bit more than that. My little Ninja Turtle shell.
Okay, so yeah, I wanted to talk about vlogging today, and I thought you were a good person to talk to about that because you're also doing some vlogging, aren't you? I've always been very impressed with your B-roll shots and your editing. I think it's great, top notch. And that's something that I want to work on, but I'm having a bit of a, for about 18 months now, ever since my dad got ill, if you remember,
Yeah.
I've been sort of having a bit of an existential vlogging crisis. It's the best way to put it. The definition of an existential crisis is you're not sure about the purpose of your life kind of thing. And my vlog has been not sure about its purpose. When I started vlogging about electric vehicles, they weren't a foregone conclusion, and electric vehicles were just sort of struggling to become a reality. I felt that, you know, it was the technology, it was the way to go, but it didn't seem like everybody was on board with that. You know, I mean, I was still, when I first got my Tesla 5 years ago, I would stop at South Mims and Quick Charge and I'd get comments like, oh, it's fully electric, so it doesn't have a petrol engine. I'd be like, yeah. And then they'd go, can you take it on the motorway? And you just don't get any of those now.
Yeah.
I think there's basically two things that have pushed electric vehicles forwards. You've got a kind of a push and a pull. The push comes from the fact that governments want to, you know, reduce carbon emissions and pollution just generally at the local street level as well as globally. And the pull side is from the fact that if you want a really fast accelerating car, if you want stupid amounts of power off the line, you just can't beat electric vehicles.
No,
They are totally unbeatable in any kind of real world off the lights kind of. So they're a foregone conclusion.
Yeah, I'm well jealous. I wish I had an electric vehicle. That's the one. That's the aspiration.
But yeah, so in terms of vlogging, I don't have that massive sort of feeling like I need to sort of talk about EVs all the time. I started sort of trying to do it daily, so it was almost like a sort of daily what's life like living with an EV? It's kind of a done subject now. In that, what is life like living with an EV? Well, it's like normal life, funnily enough.
Yeah.
Look in the mirror and there you go. That's life with an EV, pretty much. The only thing that's slightly different is when you're on a long journey, you tend to want to try and take your lunch breaks somewhere with a quick charger. Doesn't seem like a subject that's got quite the same story to it anymore.
Well, it doesn't mean as much to you anymore. Like, I think that's the most important thing, is like you kind of are done with it. Now they're so like integrated into your life, maybe start making videos about something you care about.
Well, yeah, I mean, I do still very much care about EVs, and I think there's definitely more interest to be had out of that subject. Basically, what I need to do is I need to get off my butt and go visit people and test drive cars, and I am planning on doing that sort of thing.
But also, like, you know, something you do that you don't, I don't know if you talk about it much, is like how you make the videos. Like,
I've done quite a few videos about that sort of thing in the past. It's the EV videos that get the views, and that's partly because of my audience, and
that's your niche. Like, that's
exactly, that was one of the things that I was going to say, to you about your vlogs. I think, especially to begin with, it's almost essential to have some kind of niche, something that that you stand out from the other people producing content.
Yeah, for sure.
And I'm not quite sure what that would be for you. It's whatever you find interesting. I mean, I would suggest possibly sort of filming type techniques. I mean, look at Peter McKinnon, for example.
Yeah.
His entire channel is effectively built off how to vlog and how to take cinematic video and photos and what to do with that stuff. And he's done very well from it.
I really like Peter McKinnon. He's like definitely a role model of mine on YouTube. And like, you're not the first person I've heard say you need to niche, but
it doesn't have to be that niche. I mean, the alternative, and I sort of used to do this a little bit more than I do now, is when you do daily vlogs, you can make it a little bit of a kind of fly on the wall sort of look at somebody else's life. And it's like Big Brother. People watch the most ridiculous nonsense on TV that you wouldn't think was interesting, but actually when you start getting into it and you start to understand the characters and the story behind what's going on, then it becomes interesting.
Honestly, like, for the last couple of months I've been trying to kind of work out my workflow with it, and I definitely know I need to create a niche. I don't particularly want it to be like about filmmaking, because there's so many people who do that. Like, I'd just be like a little voice in the noise. Ultimately, I'd like to move into maybe more like outdoor nature content, so like how to go out and create kind of film in difficult environments. So like places where it's not easy to go and from that, like, maybe branch off into like more specific outdoor skills.
That does sound quite, I like the sound of that.
So like I do a lot of like kayaking. Super niche, like sea kayaking. Like, there aren't a lot of people who do it.
How niche is niche, really? I mean, you're talking about the whole world. So there's probably still 1 million people that are interested in kayaking and sea kayaking, and the people who are interested in ordinary kayaking, whitewater rafting and stuff like that, will also cross over to some extent into the sea kayaking thing. And this is partly what was driving me with the whole electric vehicles, is it's by having those people spreading information and awareness about the subject, that's partly what helps that to grow. So you might find that, you start vlogging about sea kayaking, maybe somebody else is doing that as well, and it becomes a much more popular sport over time, because it's being given, the light is shining on it in a way that it wasn't shining on it so much in the past.
I try and make a point of just cutting, like, cutting in my head, if that makes sense. So I'm cutting my speech so that I'm not waffling onto the camera. And it's like they're both good, because like when you do that, you end up like with these like short little like snippets in different places that you can piece together for a narrative. But sometimes it's nice to have like a conversation like that you can you just stick in, you don't cut a lot of it. And that's just like a podcast. Like, people are kind of watching it like a podcast.
Well, funny you mention that, because I've been thinking about, I've had some very, very patient Patreon supporters that have, given me a little bit of money a month for near on eternity.
Wow.
And, I mean, not a huge amount. I think I'm on like, it was a lot more, but then when my rate of video production dropped from, 1 a day to 1 or 2 a week,
Yeah.
the Patreon sort of amount, it's like a 30 quid a month or something.
Okay.
But you know, it's something,
Yeah, it's
and
enough.
I'm very appreciative of that. And I've been wanting to look for a way to give something back to the people who do support me on Patreon, but something that doesn't take too long to edit. And I was thinking that perhaps uncut conversations might be the way to go for that.
Yeah.
I'm not quite sure how would you do that? Would you just stick it an unlisted video on YouTube and then pop the link as a sort of message
Could
to
do
your...
that. The more value you provide for the people who are watching it, I think that's like the core of doing any kind of content creation, is like providing value, and like almost providing value that people haven't been able to really get somewhere else.
Yeah.
And that's really difficult, I think, because you've got to be really like honest with yourself about, you know, I may be doing the best job, I may be making things I'm interested in, but you also got to go in and like kind of look at what other people are doing and be like, how could I do that better than them? And that's kind of an uncomfortable place to be.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of exactly where I'm at with my vlog. I felt like originally the value I was providing, apart from hopefully a bit of entertainment, but was mainly to do with showing what life was like with an EV when most people didn't have EVs or hadn't even heard of them half the time. You know, people were like, Tesla, who's that? Who makes Tesla? Tesla makes Teslas. But these conversations are gone now. Everyone knows who Tesla is. And so I'm a little bit, and that's what I meant by existential crisis, in that I'm not quite sure what the value I'm providing through the vlog is anymore. I know that there is certainly value to the EV side of things. I've generally speaking shied away from just doing EV news, because there's lots of channels out there that do EV news, and you know, some of them are very well researched, and one of the problems with doing that research is if you're going to research the subject a lot, then the editing time has got to be appropriately reduced, if you see what I mean.
I find when I plan videos, the editing time gets cut down dramatically. Like if I sit down the night before I'm going to go out and vlog and write down my bullet points, I'll spend far less time editing. That's one area I'm trying to work on really hard at the moment, is making time the night before, or like before I do the video, to sit down and create a rough plan, you know, like bullet points I want to hit, especially if it's a kit review or something like that. That's something I find very hard.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, you should see my plan for today.
Yeah.
It started.
Bike. Film.
Yeah, exactly. That was exactly it.
Have you ever asked like your audience what value they get out of your channel? Do they give you like mixed answers?
You always get mixed answers. What people get from the videos also depends on whether they're a regular subscriber who's going to watch. You know, like most of the time there's a couple of thousand people who'll watch my videos when they go up within 24, 48 hours. And then beyond that, there are some videos that are still getting decent number of views 12 months, 2 years after I put it up.
It's the best thing
those
about YouTube.
people are looking for a totally different thing out of the content. You know, they're not interested in the day-to-day story. They're not going to be saying, oh, what did he do in yesterday's vlog? What will he do in tomorrow's vlog? They don't care about that at all. They're there because they want to see a classic Fiat 500 converted to electric.
Yeah.
And so all the rest of it is just annoying gump for them.
Yeah.
Whereas at the
they're
original
specific information seekers. Yeah.
Whereas the original video that went up, when it went up, and my subscribers watched it then, for them it did sort of follow a flow that made some sense.
Yeah.
Wow,
Yeah.
I have now got miles more footage than I need,
Yeah, I
and
got
my
20
camera's
minutes.
about to run out of power.
I never film this much. Never.
No, neither do I. Editing this is going to be an absolute nightmare.
My lens, because of the camera's so hot, it's getting a little fog on it.
Oh,
because of the difference.
goodness.
Yeah, it's not good. Just going to take a quick second to ask you guys what value you get out of my videos, because I don't really know what I'm doing, so that would be really helpful, all 131 of you. Yeah, so hit it up in the comments section. Boom.
What's the deal with all the cows then? I mean,
So we just have a little green space. Farmers graze their cows in Cambridge.
I just don't expect to see it. We're smack bang in the middle of Cambridge. Granted, there is a lot of green space around here, but there's a lot of green space in London. I don't see a bunch of cows wandering around there. Unfortunately, we are coming to the end of this fun little trip. I'm still not 100% sure whether I want to go down a sort of more frequent route with my vlogs or a more researched route. Or maybe what I need to do is just keep turning out the videos and the solution will present itself, which actually is kind of how it's worked in the past so far. There's one advantage of just you make a video even if you don't want to make a video, is after a while you work out what you want to make. Can't get my head around how few electric bikes there are in the UK. See ya. It's been great fun, really enjoyed it. I'm feeling fantastic about my decision to swap the electric skateboard for a bicycle because I'm getting more use out of it.
Good. It's good to see you after so long.
Yeah, awesome. I look forward to next time. Ready? Yeah, picked up a reasonable amount of cow poo. I guess that's the point, isn't it? If you want to check out Leif's vlog from today or some of the other vlogs that he's done in the past, I will leave a link to his YouTube channel in the description. Oh, a fantastic day. It's been really good fun. I hope you've enjoyed it too. If you have, remember to like it, share it, subscribe if you haven't already, follow me on Instagram and Twitter if you don't already, and I will see you in the next episode of my vlog. Bye! Yeah, I've got my GoPro to hand because I don't like to use this camera when I'm cycling.
Yeah.
For obvious expensive reasons. Because the Canon, the G7X, that's built like a tank.
Yeah.
I've seen somebody come off an electric skateboard and it goes tumbling down the tarmac and he just picked it up and carried on going.
No way.
This thing will come to bits, no question.